be Clinton. There's some talk of Romney. I mean, he's not going away. But so that's the choice we have. It's not much of a choice, but they do get tired of their heroes in Washington, and they like to run them out of town and get somebody else in there. But somebody else who we all know is part of the system.
Sure, it's like shark teeth. I mean, once they get dull and used, another row rolls forward. So I don't see them keeping Obama in. But what about the false flag of them actually taking Obama out?
No, I am surprised at all these revelations about the Secret Service. That was one agency that I found it was very hard to crack that as far as getting sources. The only time I actually had any sources is in the 1990s during that whole Monica issue and the fights between Clinton and Hillary. I found out where the watering hole was for the president's protective detail. And I used to hang out there on Thursdays because I knew that's when they were there, and I got all the stories about her, throwing ashtrays and lamps at him. That's the only time there was a crack in that very, very secure wall of information about the president from the Secret Service. But all these recent disclosures about in Colombia and all this other stuff.
Well, the FBI leaks that Hillary literally chews the carpet, and that was confirmed. I've had some Secret Service...
later, yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, what?
I heard that in L.A. later, in about 98. I was there right after the three-day Columbus Day, three-day holiday, and I was actually in Beverly Hills, and I heard that her and one of her friends was, basically, I hate to use it, holed up there over the weekend.
Well, that was not a double entendre when I said that she's on the carpet. I mean, literally throws fits on the ground.
Yeah.
But now I get your, we all know it's public now that she anyways, let's move away from that subject for a moment. Do you think that would be an issue in the campaign, though, that they now admit she's got a string of girlfriends and is probably more of a sex addict than Bill Clinton?
Well, it didn't seem to hurt Obama because everybody in Chicago seemed to know about him even before he was president. So, I guess this is the new, this is the new paradigm now. It used to be that you could be blackmailed for stuff like that, but I guess nowadays, even though they're not out, they're not open about it. I guess they don't fear the blackmailing.
Well, I mean, I think it's selective because you'll see them go after libertarian or conservative people for absolutely nothing, and then the Democrats can swing by chandeliers. That's my problem with it.
Right. I was recently attacked when I went to a conference in Tehran of authors and journalists and other people, clerics, and Senator Mark Hurt from Illinois decided to attack me by name for going over to what he called an anti-Semitic hate fest. But, I just put the word out. Hey, look, when I was investigating Obama in Chicago, I also found out that Senator Mark Hurt, who was divorced after 18 years of marriage, was also known to be a closeted homosexual, and then he had a stroke, but he's still in the Senate, ostensibly representing Illinois Republican family values. So here we go again with more hypocrisy from
Well,
that.
I'm a libertarian. My issue is that I'm a Christian and have a lot of those values, but I don't like the Pharisee arm of this, using it to attack people and demonize people. That's why I don't get into the whole issue. But then on the reverse of that, you have the mayor of Houston wanting to arrest and subpoena preachers that are criticizing homosexuality. Whether you agree with that or disagree with that, I mean, this is getting dangerous when they're going after the First Amendment.
And it sounds like Rahm Emanuel may be her other advisor, the mayor of Houston, based on his time as mayor of Chicago. I thought it was interesting that the woman who was basically challenging Emanuel recently was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and it looks like she won't be the candidate.
Oh.
She was best placed to beat Emanuel, so here we go again.
Well, they declassified. They've got those fast-acting cancers.
That's right. And I think Hugo Chavez and what happened to him is proof positive that Sidney Gottlieb's work at the CIA has been perfected and is still in use today, not only with Ebola, HIV, and this other stuff, but also with these targeted, because Gottlieb basically came up with, medical ways to dispatch Patrice Lumumba in Congo. Here's Congo again, and also Fidel Castro in Cuba.
Well, I want to keep you a little bit longer if you can so we can get your take on Kill the Messenger, but I want to take calls. Have you seen Kill the Messenger?
I did, and I was in email contact with Gary Webb shortly before his death, and he contacted me because I was doing an expose of a company out of Dallas called...
Hold that till after calls, because here's the deal. He was in contact with me. I was going to put a website out for his new book. There was going to be another book after Kill the Messenger. He'd written that, proving the whole network. And he was telling people that he was getting threatened. He told me that. He told Free Ricky Ross that. And then they killed him, and then they had this known CIA guy who bragged he was in the CIA threatening me and saying I was full of it, and he was going to sue me. And then it turned out Webb didn't like him and had criticized him. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. The other guy's dead now, too. But it was just amazing that they killed him, Wayne. We'll talk about it in the next segment. I got to go to calls, but it's just amazing how they killed him. He was awesome. Lona in Utah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Wayne. Thanks for taking my call. I have two comments for you. This is Lana in Salt Lake. And first of all, I want to tell you that I buy the bottled drinks at the health food store, and then I recycle those bottles with the Pro Pure water. I put them in the 6-pack bags that you can get at Whole Foods, so they're ready to go. We don't have to drink out of the poisonous plastic bottles anymore. And then the second comment I wanted to make, I was out one Friday with some friends, and they were contrailing the skies in Salt Lake like you cannot believe. The worst I have ever seen, ever. And they were crisscrossing the skies, and I thought, this means victory. This is a victory for them. I came home, I listened to your show. You had announced that they had introduced Ebola into the country, and I believe it was their symbol that they made victory.
All right, Lona, thank you so much, and God bless you. I want to move quick here, but there is geoengineering going on. It is classified, but the fact that they're spending billions a year is not. And guess who heads it up? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Again, I want to go to Charlie, and I want to go to Sean and Lucas and others here in a moment. But bottom line, where is Bill Gates in the power structure? It seems like he's involved in everything.
Yeah, and now we know with more revelations about the close connection between private companies and NSA. You know, these companies said, oh, well, we didn't know that this NSA program was going on. Well, now we know, in fact, they were involved with it. And I reported many, many years ago that Microsoft actually has an office at NSA in Fort Meade to handle basically surveillance issues of people using Microsoft products. When NSA had an issue breaking into some password or firewall associated with a Microsoft product, there was a help desk manned by Microsoft people at NSA that they could call and resolve these issues. So
but that's what you reported 20 years ago when you first went public, was that every major telecom had whole floors with the NSA hubbed in.
Yeah, and AT&T was part of it. As all remember the Clipper chip, these companies were all trying to make money on that, while at the same time they said, well, we're opposed to the government trying to control the private use.
That's the key, is they were paid in aggregate billions a year to, quote, service it all.
Right, exactly.
And so now the NSA is rolling out its own wireless network to cut out the middleman.
Yeah, the only guy that fought against that was the CEO of Quest, Mr. Naccio, and they put him in prison because he wouldn't play ball. They got him on some insider trading trumped-up deal, which, you know, these federal prosecutors can indict a ham sandwich if they want to.
It's amazing, Wayne. We're going to go to break and come back and take more calls. We'll just keep you the whole rest of the show if you can do it. You're always so interesting on air, and I think you're on fire today. But let's start getting into Webb right now, and we'll come back with calls. I've been physically attacked and told you better shut up. I've been death threatened. I've had them call up and describe what just happened in the front yard or the backyard and say, yeah, we're listening, buddy. And, you know, it's a really mean guy's voice. I've had the women call up and run psyops on my family, on my wife. I've had them infiltrate the operation. I don't even want to get into it. It's just unbelievable. But that's what I expect doing this. But I just don't know how they find so many evil people to be part of it. It's so creepy, and it's so illegal. And then Gary Webb, who had another book coming out, a website coming out, he was talking to all these alternative journalists. He left the San Jose Mercury News. He was vindicating himself. And then he had people breaking in his house over and over again. And then they shot him twice in the head. I mean, how obvious is that they killed him? But then I'm blown away that the movie comes out and pretty much tells the truth. What does that say about Hollywood?
Well, you know, how many times have we actually seen Hollywood give news that we can't get from the news? I mean, it's kind of all messed around, topsy-turvy now, where people get their news from Jon Stewart, a comedian, than from the Brian Williams or these other talking heads on these other networks. But Webb contacted me because I was looking at this company called Affiliated Computer Systems out of Dallas, and this was in '04, and I was concerned based on what I was hearing that there was going to be another attempt to manipulate the election, as we saw in 2000 with the voting machines, and ACS was very tied in with the Republican hierarchy, and I was investigating.
And again, he died right then. Come back. Let's talk about that straight ahead. I mean, Gary Webb was digging into a lot of stuff. He was an award-winning journalist, and they killed him and then scared everybody around him to go along with it being suicide. That happens to me, folks. I will never commit suicide. 100%. Know it. And neither will Wayne Madsen. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
Mainstream media, government cover-ups.
You want answers?
You want answers? Well, so does he. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We're going to finish up with Charlie and all the callers that are there, Sean and others. Wayne Madsen's our guest. I do have John Bound's report we haven't aired yet as well. We'll get to that on Ebola. The CDC now announcing it can last 41 days in a certain